Hello, hi Mom and Brittany.
Hi, Mark.
Hi. Today we are trying new things. You're trying your first yoga class,
Yes,
and
I am.
just over a year ago, I started doing yoga for the first time, and it's changed my life. And just finding the ease in each pose, and knowing that you can't do it wrong.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Come into child's pose. Relax into the pose. Relax your head towards the ground. Start your Ujjayi breath, and that's breathing in and out through your nose. Bringing the tongue to the back of your teeth. If you could create that, we call Ujjayi breath, to create the inner tapas, the heat in your body. Just slowing down the breath, becoming present to it, becoming present to how your body feels in this pose. Come to downward facing dog. Bring your hands shoulder distance apart. Your feet, you can bring your hands a little more forward, Mom. And you want to bring your drishti between your feet, your feet, somewhere back in the back of the room. And continue with that breath. You could fire up the outside of your legs, so you're using your whole legs. Soft bend in your knees, Brittany. Walk forward to ragdoll. So you're gonna bring your feet all the way forward, hip distance apart. Grab your outer arms, let your head relax. You could bring a big, deep bend in your knees, Mom, to get comfortable wherever you find more comfort. Rise up, mountain pose. Bringing your hands up in the air. Yeah. And bring them down to heart center, prayer hands. We're going to start to practice 3 ohms. Breathe in for Om. Rise up, mountain pose. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Come up halfway. Chaturanga, which is you're going to come to a high plank like you're doing a push-up, and then low plank, and then upward facing dog. So you get to come to your knees, Mom, like that,
Okay.
and you can come to your knees and just come down like this. This is low plank, and up dog. And then that's it, and then you're gonna come back to down dog.
Okay.
All right? So do the low plank. Yep, like you're doing a push-up. And then upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Back to, yep. And you could come back up, Mom, like Brittany is. So you bring your feet hip distance apart. And you're really trying to keep weight in your feet and in your hands very equally. You're not pushing one more than the other. And what we're going to do now is we're going to move slow through this, but 1 breath per pose. So each time we call a pose, you're going to try to tune your breath in, breathing in and breathing out with each pose. So look forward and step or jump forward. So walk forward, halfway lift. Forward fold. Mountain pose. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Then you go chaturanga. So you can do that high plank position. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. You can bring it back. Look forward, step or jump. Mountain pose. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. The same thing. Then you're gonna come down, Ma. Upward facing dog. And then get back on your, roll your toes and bring your knees off the ground and come back. Yep, that's down dog. There you go. We'll do one more of those. Look forward, step or jump. Rise up mountain pose. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Look forward, step or jump. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Utkatasana. So now you're going to bring your big toes to meet, leave a small gap between your heels, and you're going to sit like you're sitting in a chair, and bring your upper arm, these arms straight up like this. Yep. You can sit back a little more. There you go. That's Utkatasana. Fire up these arms. Relax your shoulders. You could spin your pinky fingers in towards each other and relax your shoulders back here. Good job, Brittany. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. So now you're going to bring your right foot forward, warrior one. It's a lunge. You want to line up your back heel with your front heel. And that, so you can take a much bigger step, Mom. Yep. And then bring your yep, that's warrior one. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's me.
Uh-huh. Looking powerful.
Yes. Feel it.
Continue with that Ujjayi breath. You want to really start focusing on your breath and not focusing on knowing the pose exactly how it should be. Just go with how it feels in your body and have fun. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Left foot forward, warrior one. You could definitely bring you're stronger than you think. Bring it up here. Bend in the knee far. Yep. And bring this leg back a little bit. You want to try to. You're pushing, so you can almost, if you're pushing your heels, pulling them towards each other, will fire up your inner legs. Where you could square up your hips as much as you can. There you go. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Look forward, step or jump. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Utkatasana. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot forward, warrior one. Chaturanga. We're gonna work through this another 4 times, Mom. Just doing it in one breath. So just do it at your pace, and we'll start doing that now. So starting downward facing dog. Look forward, step or jump. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Utkatasana. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Get strong, yep, there you go. Right foot forward, warrior one. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left foot forward, warrior one. Chaturanga.
Need a senior citizen case.
Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. This is look forward, separate jump. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Utkatasana. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot forward, warrior one. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left foot forward, warrior one. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Look forward, step or jump. Halfway lift. Forward fold. This is gonna be the last one. Utkatasana. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot forward, warrior one. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left foot forward, warrior one. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Alright, relax here. Let me get you in let me help you in your down dog, Ma. So you're gonna bring your your hands shoulder distance apart, okay? Just put them down, yep. Walk your feet, you can walk your feet back, and you wanna really make the V, so you're pointing your butt in the air. You see, that's it. And you can straighten your arms, and looking good, Ma. Alright, we're gonna bring your right foot forward for a crescent lunge. So your heel's gonna come up in the back, Mom, and
In the back.
and your left foot's gonna be out in front of you. Your right foot's gonna be out in front of you. Yep, just like that. Yep. Yep, and you're gonna be pushing back through your heel to take weight out of your front leg.
Oh.
And bring your hands in the air. Yep. There you go. Nice job, Brittany. When I first started doing this practice, I swore I just wasn't flexible and couldn't do yoga. And yoga's for everybody. I've seen so many people come through this practice that maybe had self-doubt, and I was one of them. And a year later, I have no doubt anymore. And it feels good. So bring your hands to prayer and twist to the right. Yep. You can bring your elbow right there. Yep. And you can bring your gaze towards the fire. Continue with that breath. Chaturanga. Warrior two. Warrior two. So hands spread wide apart. Yep, just like in the other warrior position, except now your hands are this way instead of this way. Extended side angle. Yep. You're gonna push down
Flat.
that flat, and really, you can feel the weight in your arm, yeah. And you can bring your gaze this way, Mom. Yep. Chaturanga. Yep. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left foot forward, crescent lunge. You want to, if you could bring your back foot so it's like that, so you're on your toes, and you're pushing back through your heel like you're pushing the wall behind you. Mm-hmm. And you're crescent lunge, twist to the left. Bring your hands to prayer, twist to the left. Try to look at the wall on the left or the ceiling above you. Come to warrior two. Extended side angle. You're just gonna bring that left hand down to the floor, and you can bring your right arm above you, like that, yep. Fire up your fingers as you're reaching up, yeah. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Look forward, step or jump. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Back to Utkatasana. So that's your big toes to meet. Slight gap between your heels and your knees. And sit like you're sitting in a chair. Bring your arms straight up in the air. And spin your hands in this way. That's it. Yep. And you can even continue with that breath. Twist to the right. Right twist to the right. Nice job. 2 more breaths. Very good. Padangusthasana. Bring your feet hip distance apart. Do a forward fold. Grab your big toes with your peace fingers. And by pulling down on your toes, bring your elbows to the side. You get a deep, great, Mom. There you go. Keep a soft bend in your knees. Let your head be relaxed, yeah. Come back to Utkatasana. Big toes to meet, slight gap between your heels and your knees. Twist to the left. If you can bring the weight in your heels, starting with the foundation. We always work from the ground up. Start with a strong base. Padahastasana, or gorilla pose. So bring your feet hip distance apart again. Slide your hands underneath your feet if you can. And want to bring the weight into the creases of your wrists if you can. You might feel like you're going to tip over, and you may, and most likely you'll catch yourself.
That's a good thing.
Continue with that breath. You release, come to squat or crow. So bring your feet hip distance apart and your feet pointed at an angle. So at 2 o'clock and 10 o'clock, you could squat down. Almost bring your, almost like you're sitting like this.
That's tough.
Okay, that's fine.
And the knees. Sorry.
That's okay. You almost look like you do crow. So bring you show you crow, or I could even show you. Yep. See, that's crow. I know that's the next thing.
No. No, thank you very much.
New and exciting.
Next time.
Rise up, mountain pose. Tadasana, hands by your sides. We're gonna do eagle pose on the right. You're gonna bring your right arm underneath your left arm, and it's a balancing pose. You're gonna bring your right leg over your left leg. I got you. Nope, over on the other side, around the other side. Yep, just like that. That's it. And continue with the breath. Bring these arms up a little bit. You know, if you can't do that yet, you can just like that, whatever feels good. All right, release. Eagle pose on the left side, eagle pose. Left arm under the right arm. Just keep your hips square, shoulders relaxed. Release. Eagle pose on the right again. Release. Last eagle pose on the left. If you find your mind wandering and wondering if you're doing this correctly, Mom, just know that you're doing great and it's your first time doing yoga.
Thank you.
It gets better every time. Especially with the meditation you've been doing, it's all gonna connect. Rise up. We're gonna do standing leg raise on the right. So you're gonna grab your knee, Mom, and just bring it to the outside.
And use this for balance.
Correct. Yep. And if you eventually you want to you're gonna bring your gaze over your left hand, and right now you're just doing it for balance. Your toes are always these toes are always pointed at 12 o'clock. Yep. That's it. Perfect. Bring your foot back forward, and now you're gonna link the airplane mode. So, Mom, you're gonna go back like that, and I can hold on to you. Yeah, just bring you bring your arms back behind you, like you're in palms facing down, like you're pushing in the table. Yep. Bring this leg up. Okay.
I'm not centered. Okay. Palms down.
Palms down. Yep. Oh, there you go. You're getting up. Release. And do standing leg raise on the left side. When you bring your gaze to your right, if you can. Oh. Release. Come bring it out in front of you. Airplane on the left. Yeah, palms facing down like you're pushing your table. Release. Ragdoll. Rise, or chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. You're gonna bring your right foot forward for warrior one. Yep, straight up in the arm. And then you're gonna open up to warrior two, so arms back. Yep. You wanna really keep the weight in both your legs if you can, yeah? Yeah. And then you're gonna straighten your front leg for triangle pose. So straighten your front leg, bring your arm, yep, just like that. Hand on the outside area of your right foot. You could square your hips on top of one another. Release. You can do side facing, wide leg forward bend. So bring your feet wide, toes slightly pointed in, and just relax your head to the ground, and you're gonna feel the stretch in your back, and Brittany's gonna go upside down because she can. Controlling her breath. Namaste, front facing forward fold. So bring your right foot to point towards the front of the room. You got it. I'm so pretty. And you're gonna keep the front foot straight with a slight bend in your knee. You always want to keep a slight bend in your knees, Brittany. Keep a slight bend in your back knee, and fold over your front leg. Twisting triangle. Bring your left hand on the outside of your right foot. I wish I could block for you. Yep. You could even, yep. And just bring this leg up. This hand up. That's it. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Left foot forward, warrior one. Open up to warrior two. Straighten your front leg for Trikonasana triangle pose. Release. Side facing, wide legged forward bend to the right. Relax your head. Still keeping that slight bend in your knees so you're not hyperextending them. Rounding down through the blade edges of your feet to push back. To push in the sides. Namaste, front facing forward fold. twisting triangle. Your left hand on the outside of your left, or your right hand on the outside of your left foot, and bring your right hand up. I gotcha. Yep, bring it straight. This way. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Come to high plank, lower to your belly. We are getting ready for the back bending series, which is the peak of our pose, Mom. We stretch out throughout the whole beginning of this practice to open up for this back bending series, which can be very difficult or can be very easy, depending how you go about it. You're gonna come into locust pose. So you're gonna bring your airplane arms that you had. You're gonna push back through your heels, and you're gonna point your toes towards your shins. Yep, just like that. Yep, and you're gonna bring like your hands down towards like you're pushing into a table, palms facing down, Mom. Yep. And you want to keep your neck looking down in front of your mat here, so you're not making a lot of creases in your back. Correct. Come down. We do a second set. You could do interlaced arms behind, or airplane arms again. Come up. Remember to keep that gaze right in front of your mats here, and continue with your breath, pushing back with your heels, toes towards your ankles, and if you want to push in on my legs, that's how you're firing up your legs. You feel that? Mm-hmm. Come down. Next, floor bow. So you're going to grab your outer ankles with your hands, and you're going to push up through your heels towards the ceiling. Yep. Yep, there you go. Release. Shake out your hips, pull them side to side. Second set. Floor bow. Grab your outer ankles. Continue with your breath. Oh, nice. Pulling up. Nice job, Brittany. You're rocking. Come down. You can windshield wipe your legs back and forth to release some tension. There you go. How's that feel?
Mm-hmm. Good.
Best pose all day.
We do this for a while.
Yeah. So we're gonna come to do a chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Come to your knees. Do camel pose. So you can either have your feet tucked or flat on the back here. Knees hip distance apart. Bring your hands to your lower back. And breathe, and just do a slight back bend. Just breathe. Release. Let's come to your back for bridge pose. Feet hip distance apart. You're gonna bring your toes facing 12 o'clock. And yep, pushing up through your heels and your hips. Yep, just like that. Come down. Come up into wheel or bridge. Brittany, come in the wheel. Do bridge again, Mom. This is the, you don't have to, you want to try?
I'll try. I don't think my hands are gonna support it.
You could put your hands on my ankles, right here. Yep. No, just like that. And push as hard as you, no, we're in the front like that, yep. And push, yep. Thanks, Mom. Ready? Okay. We can bring your feet closer together. You're closer than they're good. You just gotta remember to keep breathing too. All right, come down. Come up for a second set, a wheel or bridge. You can come up in the bridge. You can stay in bridge, Mom, like you're doing the first time. That hurting your back. And you really want to be pushing through your feet and firing up your legs. Yeah. And continue with that breath. There's no pose here that you should be feeling relaxed. Every pose is always working something. Come down. Come up for another set of wheel or bridge. Come down. Good job, Brittany. Breaking a sweat. One more we're gonna do. Come up, wheel or bridge. And anytime on you want to take a rest, you can take a rest. Brittany's gonna try to stand up right now, and she is gonna stand up. Look at that. Come down. Supta Baddha Konasana. Butterfly your legs, bring your feet together, pushing your legs, your feet together. You want to, this is the hip opening, relaxing. Yep. Let's continue with your Ujjayi breath. Still together, pushing. Bring your legs up in the air for happy baby. You're going to bring your legs bent, grab your outer feet from out here, yep, and just pull down. Just it's a light stretch. You should feel good, shouldn't hurt. Get your legs straight up in the air. We're going to do some abdominal work. 60-30 lifts. So on a breath in and a breath out, you're going to bring your legs down a third of the way. Right there, yeah. Okay. So, and the second breath in, you're going to bring 2/3 of the way down. Another breath as you release 2 inches off the ground. And hold it there. Good grab. Forgot to tell you that you can put your hands behind your head and support your head. Bring your legs all the way up. We'll do one more set. You're firing up these feet and using your abs here. Lower down a third. Lower down 2/3. Lower down 2 inches off. Head and shoulders up, looking at your feet. 2 inches off the ground. Feet all the way up. Hug them into your chest. Rock and roll, front to back. You're gonna come into downward facing dog. You're gonna come into half pigeon, so you're gonna bring your right foot forward in front of you at an angle. Yep. So you could start just by, you know, yep. And you don't have to.
It won't go down. That's
Bring. Lay on your back, Mom, for thread the needle, and I'll show you how to do that. So you're gonna lay on your back, and you're gonna bring your left. Yep. Come back into downward facing dog. Shake out your right leg. You can stay there, Mom, but you're gonna come right into the left side. Bring your left foot forward for half pigeon. You can do the same thing on the other side. Thread the needle. Flexing your toes and just relax your neck. Release, come into double pigeon. So you're gonna bring your right leg stacked over your left leg. You can sit up, Mom, and you don't, yep. And just bring your left leg underneath like you're doing that. Just bring this one in front of you here. Just like, no. Bring this down like that, yep. And if I had a block, we would put on a block here. And you're opening up your hips, so if you could, when you're breathing in, you wanna fold forward, and you'll feel it right in here. You're always flexing your feet in this. It's just always making your legs active, and that's in all the poses. Yeah. Release, left side, double pigeon on the left. Release, bring your feet long in front of you. Single seated leg extension right side. So you're gonna tree your left leg into your right leg.